An officer will not shoot at you for no reason at all.
So that was Johnny Q. He has a pretty big following here on TikTok and also on YouTube. I'm not going to reveal where he works, but I have confirmed he is a commissioned police officer and pretty new to the force, unless he has prior experience that I'm not aware of. Overall, he seems like a solid dude, makes good content, and spreads a positive message. That being said, I would like to do a breakdown on this particular video and the comment in question. I think we can all learn something from this.
What would happen if a cop starts shooting at me without a reason? Would I shoot back?
A legitimate question, and one that shouldn't be taken lightly, especially considering the heavy implications. Let's continue.
Bad question. Bad question. Bad. Where do I even start with this one? A police officer will not shoot at you without reason. No. An officer will not shoot at you for no reason at all. And no, don't shoot back. This is a real question? Bad question.
So first I'd like to point out that Johnny Q is very new to law enforcement, close to the 1-year mark if my research is correct. If I had to guess, Johnny has what's called the blue flame. It's not a bad thing, it's a term used for new cops that are fired up and very passionate about the job. And no, there is no correlation between blue flame and blue falcon for any military that might be watching. It does not mean buddy f***er. I think what's happening here is something I went through myself. In your mind, you've just devoted your life to a noble and very necessary cause, and throughout your training, you've been forced to watch the horrors that are the experiences of modern American police officers. So there's not much room left in your mind to consider the possibility of a cop doing something bad. Let's go ahead and look at an example here. No-knock warrants and the death of Breonna Taylor. 3 years ago in Louisville, Kentucky, Kenneth Walker was the subject of a no-knock warrant for reason to believe he was running a drug operation. Kenneth and witnesses claimed the police did not identify themselves prior to forcing entry into his home. Now the police claim otherwise, and sadly there's no footage to review. Kenneth fired one shot at police while they were forcing entry, and police returned fire, killing his girlfriend Breonna, who was present in the background of the home. Kenneth was charged with attempted murder of a police officer and assault, but all charges have been dismissed. Police officers involved were fired and have since been federally charged with violating the civil rights of Kenneth and Breonna. No one has been charged with the death of Breonna. Now, if this is truly what happened, Kenneth was absolutely in the right to defend himself and his girlfriend from what he most likely perceived as an imminent threat. For this reason, among many others, I believe no-knock warrants should not exist. At the very minimum, they should only be executed on known dangerous criminals backed by extensive evidence. Much more than that required of a typical search warrant, and most certainly not for drug offenses. I feel like I should mention Ruby Ridge and the siege of Waco as two more valid examples, but I've covered them before and I think I've already made my point. I want to make it clear that I'm not coming after Johnny Q here in any way. I'm simply giving a deeper answer from a different perspective. Police are absolutely necessary to a peaceful society, but they're human just like everybody else. They will make mistakes, and because of that, it's important for officers to be able to spot bad tactics and bad actors in their field to prevent things like this from happening. So my answer to the question is, there is no definitive answer, and I'm certainly not going to give any sort of green light here given the nature of the question. What I can do is provide examples of what has happened in the past, and you can learn from that information. That's my answer. And if you're a cop watching this, you have to acknowledge that things like this can happen. Only by acknowledging that fact will you be able to stop it in the future.